Hi, my name is Yodalin and my mentor is Nakisha Williams. During one of our prayer section, I told my mentor about a speech Mayor Bloomberg gave at my school, and I shared a unique perspective on him. So she asked me if I could have a chance to write to him, what will be my reaction, and I tried to explore that on my piece. It is January 9th. My school is literally going crazy, making changes. This was the first time the school has done something without complaining that they didn't have money. They started by putting new flat screen TVs around the hallways and scorekeepers in the gym. The auditorium had new carpets. Everyone is wondering, wow, has Mr. Joaquin, our principal, won the lottery? We couldn't imagine what was really going on. On January 10th, I went to my student council meeting in which they announced that on Thursday, Mike Bloomberg, the mayor of New York, was going to attend our school to, to take his public speech on his plans for the state in 2012. Wow, that was a shock. I was so happy. I was going to meet the mayor of New York. The bell rang, and a clear image pops into my head. I realized that's why they were making so many improvements in school. I got furious. How can they make changes for Bloomberg and not for the students? Well, welcome to America, one of my teachers said. On Thursday, January 12th, I was going through the security scanning machine at my school. There were about 50 police officers, and every single security guard was dressed as if they were going to the red carpet. I passed through the scanning machine, and one of the policemen says, "You have to get a scan again." I said, "Okay." When the woman starts scanning me through, she says, "Take off your boots." My boots? Why? I have been bringing them for a long time, and I haven't had this problem before. Well, now you have to, she says. I felt it. I felt it just like a criminal. I went upstairs to the first floor, really mad. I was red like a tomato just picked up from a stream. As I went up, one of the security guards says, "You can be on the first floor. Please go to the third floor." What the hell? I was really late already. That's when I realized that was going to be the worst day ever. I was I was selected to listen to Bloomberg's speech. So after lunch, I went upstairs and sat on the back row of the auditorium. The speech was more like a mass. Everyone was so silent, and only when he made a real good point did they clap. Since it was my first time hearing a speech of a mayor, it was monotone. Most of the speech I didn't understand, so I tuned out a few times. 30 minutes later, Bloomberg announced that region tests were going to be modified so they could have some college language on them. Regions are state exams that determine if you have learned the concepts they have give you in your classes. Bloomberg said that the majority of students taking regions are failing them, and by allowing regions to have college language, it will prepare them more and it will be a way to push them to be successful. I was black out. What? Are you serious? I couldn't believe he was just saying that. How is he going to put regions in college language? For me, it was as he was trying to limit immigrants from progressing. Doesn't he know how difficult it is for an English as a second language student to succeed in this country? From experience, I can tell each and every one of you that being a second language student in this country is really hard. You have to adapt to the environment in which you have never seen. You have to learn English as soon as possible so you can understand the contents of your classes. Without understanding the contents of your classes, your chances of passing the regions are limited. The vocabulary you may not know also makes it harder to read the test. If you don't pass 5 regions, you don't graduate. According to the New York Times, each year approximately 1.2 million students fail to graduate from New York high schools. This number will continue to increase if Bloomberg decides to make regions harder with vocabulary. There will be more dropout students that graduate. This is unfair. He's only thinking about American students that were born here, who speak English as their first language. He has to realize that we don't learn the same way. We learn differently, and that the language barriers makes it more difficult to learn from a new to English student. As an immigrant student and English being my second language, I now know that from now on, my chances of becoming someone is limited by selfish people that are not thinking about society in general, but of themselves. Nevertheless, Bloomberg haven't taken any further steps towards a change, and I'm hoping he doesn't. I believe regions should remain the same. However, they should modify some of the vocabulary so new to English students will be able to understand more the contents. If I could have the chance to talk to Bloomberg, I will ask him, if you were a fish and you have been taken out of your water tank, how will you survive? Because that's how many people make new to English students feel out of their tank, like we don't belong here. Thank you.